Here we are, the final chapter in Splinter Conviction. Makes me sad, really. And kinda makes me mad, too. So I think I'm just gonna take my anger out on these two. Hey guys, this is the Walk to the House here, bringing you the final mission on Splinter Cell Conviction, the White House. We are here to rescue the President and finish off Tom Reed's plans. So, as you can see how the game started off in this place, if you go to the window, you are invincible. And this is exactly why. Everyone loves to line up against windows, even though we have a history of pulling people off windows, but they never understand. If you're playing this game, just keep in mind that the guards are not one-hit headshots. Okay, they're not gonna die in one hit on their head. I don't know how they survive, but if the funny thing is, if you execute them, then they die, even if it's a headshot. But when you shoot them in the head, they don't. So that's a little mechanic that's kind of funny. As you can see, I'm really cleaning the house here with the windows, and even though they know everyone's getting pulled off, they still just keep coming. I left the last guy alone because I was getting bored of doing the same tactic. So we're in the Vice President's room. We get to see the Vice President's face, but before that, we need to take care of his 4 bodyguards. They are the dumbest bodyguard in the world because they're only standing in the dark sides where they're very vulnerable. I mean vulnerable, not vulnerable. So you know, as you can see, quick work. Execution really does the trick, because when you approach the Vice President, you get another execution for interrogating him. But it's not really interrogation. We're just quote unquote securing the Vice President, who believes he is basically invisible. I mean invincible, not invisible. I'm sorry. So if he's so bulletproof, you know, why does he have guards around? That's my question. And Sam puts that theory to the test, and we find out that he's not really bulletproof. And also that unicorns don't really exist, but that's not important. So then we get barraged in this house right from the front door. Recommend you throw a grenade there and a landmine to the right room, and then you hide. So just as a tip, these guys, there's about 4 of them that there's 4 of them in the other room that you need to take care of. You can use full stealth and go really slow, like I'm doing here. But I strongly advise when you secure the Vice President, you move on to the right and start running and throwing grenades like crazy. Here we get ambushed, so I recommend you throw a flashbang and then climb the staircase here, and go into this room where you see a lot of soldiers. I mean, there's quite a few of them. There's just like 6, 7, or even 8. I don't know. You guys can give me the true numbers in the description. Maybe 5. So what I plan to do is just throw a remote mine to get their attention over there, and I detonate it, and that brings everyone's attention to that corner of the room, so I can sneak past and not have to worry about any of the guards. Dude, this cutscene. Oh, by the way, I'm not gonna cut out any cutscenes in this episode because it's the final episode. You know, why do that? And also the interactions come during the cutscenes later on, so if I were to put that in, I might as well put the other one in.
Reed's men were kicking in the Oval Office door. She was there, and she could see that the President's protective detail was going down. The plan was for Sam to meet with Grimm in the press room.
There they are. So, you know, come in here, you finally figure out what was the main menu all about, where 2 Splinter Cells are fighting everyone off. Well, it was this scene where the Splinter Cells are clearing the White House. As you can see, the Splinter Cells have 1 eye into the sonar goals and 1 eye open. I don't know why. Wouldn't that be just annoying? So we need to meet up with Grimm as fast as possible, and we're gonna do just that. This level is actually pretty difficult. I just cut out the part that I died because it was boring, and why would you want to see me die 100 times? But oh well. So we approach the kitchen, and this kitchen is actually very easy because I don't know why, but everyone loves to turn their back in this area. So we take out the first guard. I just throw him into the elevator stage just in case anyone were to find. I just throw him into the elevator shaft. Then we move to the left. Don't open the door because they're all expecting you. You could just throw a flashbang in there, but I don't recommend doing that. That's pretty risky. We see an oblivious guard just staring at the wall. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. But we wait for him to pass, and after that is done, we approach the guard slowly, painfully, as he loves staring at walls. And I didn't really fast forward this because you guys need to see how dumb these guys are. As you can see, everyone in the room has their back turned. So what I did was, instead of knocking him out and risk making a noise in front of everybody, I brought this guy here and knocked him out in the corner, which apparently gives me an achievement in game, Shadow Takedown. And I don't really need points because that finished the game earlier anyway. But if you guys were into that stuff, into achievements, you can always do that. And the three other guards are still oblivious. I don't know if they have any communications between each other, if they even talk to each other or not, because three of them now. 3 are dead, and the other 3 are just like, well, derp derp. Right here, my mouse got unplugged, so I had to plug it back in and get back into the game. It was a little inconvenient, but what do you do? So we have one more guard left. It's really painful to do this, but it has to be done. I mean, their stupidity cannot be ignored. As you guys can see, this guy is gonna suffer the same fate. We're gonna go to the corner, and this time I didn't really bother going that far, just because I realized that the other 2 were just like dumb heads. So I was like, oh well, whatever. So I try to shoot him in the head, and I don't get a headshot, but I was like, oh well, crap. But I shoot him in the head enough to not cause me any trouble. I go back the wrong way right here by accident, and I go back upstairs. It was a mistake. And I go back here again because I'm an idiot. But the proper way to do it is go through back in the kitchen again and take a right. We need to meet up with Grim as soon as possible. Here it's a little tricky bit. There's a machine gunner sitting up there, and the only solution you have is to go from cover to cover into this room where you get ambushed by splinter cells, and my noob skills, you know, those flashbangs completely flashed nobody. So as you can tell, we're very good at being absolutely ineffective. I don't know how we've gained splinter cells, but you know, hey, I'm finishing the game, right? So why complain? So as looking at how I was just sucking at taking the splinter cells out, I just ran for it, booked it, and fortunately I didn't get caught. So here I died and I had to cut it off. But in this room you get ambushed again. I just slid to the left side and took care of the guard here and threw a grenade before running into the room. Here I used my newbie senses to throw 3 mines because you're gonna get ambushed and there are gonna be splinter cells dropping down the ceiling. I detonated it too early, so I killed a whole 1 person out of those 3 mines. So I was like, oh well, whatever, I think I'm just gonna run past them, and I did. So we are approaching near the end. We have this room to clear out, and there's 4 guards here. 6 guards here. I used execute on 4 of them, and the other 2 were just, I don't know, idiotic, I suppose, and they just sat there. So here we are, approaching the ending stages of the game, meeting Grim in the newsroom like she was asking us to. So this, if you guys remember, the foreshadowing at the beginning of the game, or during the middle grounds of the game, are coming to life. So as you can see, Grim has done pretty good amount of killing. I mean, there's a guy just taking a seat there to his and there's a guy just laying down. I think he found a penny, but yep. Oh, ouch.
Tom?
Grim says that we need to get him as close as possible to Tom and make Grim look as fake as possible. So, you know, in order to do that, she, you know, puts Sam up for the occasion and shoots him in the arm to make him look injured and capturable. I don't know how that works as a handcuff. I thought that was a zip tie for the longest time. I still to date don't know what that is. If any of you guys into techie stuff like that could tell me what that is, that'd be great. Because I think she just tied his hand with a zip tie. The things I tie my wires with. So if you remember this, we had this scene at the beginning of the game, or somewhere around the beginning of the game, I forgot. And we're back here into the same room. You get to see a little bit of glitches in the game in their movement. So when you see a turning, you get to see Grim and Sam awkwardly turn. As you can see, they just rotate, they don't really turn. but here you naturally turn a little bit. So we get to see Tom Reed in person for the first time. I think the last time we only heard of him, but now we are officially talking to him. Last time we saw them, it was in the Lincoln Memorial. We got to see him through the security camera talking to Lucius Galliard. But anyway, here we are marking the opponent to execute. Obviously, something's going to go down. So Reed has planned to, blame Sam Fisher for the killing of the President Caldwell. And, as cliche as that sounds, I have to agree that Reed's plan is pretty effective. I mean, Reed is pretty high up in status. Third echelon's high up in the status. The vice president, is in his pocket. So I don't see why. The only thing I wonder is, how is Reed going to be the president? Why isn't vice president next in line? That's how the government works, right? I mean, that's what I believe the Constitution doesn't say that in words, but it might. I don't know. I'm not a government student. But I know that for sure, that the vice president needs to take over the president. He's the next in line, and then it's the Speaker of the House. But I don't know how Reed is being the president. So this is where it gets cranky. Hey, what you got there? Whoops. Unnecessary sound effects for the win.
You've got maybe 2 minutes before the army takes back the White House.
Why does the army take it back now? What? Like, we could have came in 2 minutes late? What the hell? Shoot her! If you shoot or spare, or shoot or beat, not spare, you get different achievements. So choose whatever you wish. Either way, you're gonna reach the same ending, really. Not to spoil it or anything, but yeah. Well, no, never mind. I didn't spoil it.
You're the mole. You're the one Lambert was worried about.
Hey, you got a hole in your arm.
You finally see. You son of a bitch! You cost me 3 years of my life. 3 years when I thought my daughter was dead.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Army, just drop your guns and get on your asses on the ground, alright? Yeah. Okay, no, what?
I don't see anyone else here but us, and I'm sure you don't either.
Oh, man. Let's get you out.
Thank you.
Oval Office is secure. We have the president.
What kind of code name is POTUS? That's my question. So we get to kill or spare. I've always killed him just because I hated him so much. I think sparing him gives you a different achievement. I don't know. You guys can tell me what happens if you spare the bastard. So anyway, well, that is it for Splinter Cell. We get to see a final ending clips, as you can see. Victor Cost is held hostage. Man, Victor Cost is getting old, isn't he? Look at those wrinkles on the forehead. I would like to quickly thank you guys for watching and following along. Hopefully I did a good job. You guys can see the beginning of it in the playlist, obviously. And if you guys wanted to know, there is a scene after the post-credit that I won't show, that you guys should find it out by yourself. There's a post-credit scene, and it's quite funny, actually. So anyway, this has been the Walkthrough House. Hope you guys enjoyed your time with me, and subscribe for more. I'll definitely be doing more games in the future. Actually, Splinter Cell was very productive for me. 1 video a day, that's pretty productive for me. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough, and I'll see you guys around for the next game. See you guys around.
I thought so.